Welcome to the Third World Podcast. I'm Caleb.
I'm Shabs.
And we got a special guest today. He was here before. This is Toomy. Say hi, Toomy.
Hello.
Guys, I want to celebrate today a very special episode of the Third World Podcast. But, Toomy, I threw this on you at the last second. Why is this a special episode today?
Oh, it is...
Yeah?
What episode number is this?
Oh, no, the episode's a normal episode number. But what special have we had going on today?
Oh, you're going to love this, audience. We're reading hate mail.
No. Dang you,
boy.
sir.
Gosh darn
Hey,
it.
fix it in post.
Quick, hit the gas button.
And now, a word from our sponsor. That's next episode, Timmy. This episode, we're celebrating 100 subscribers.
Woo!
Yeah. All right, hold on. Where's that little applause button here? Hold on. Let me try that again. This episode, we're celebrating 100 subscribers. Uh-oh.
It's the same button, Caleb.
No, that's more like it.
No button. That was the live audience. Thank you.
All right, look how much they love us. Well, guys, I never thought we'd get here, to be honest with you. We were stuck at, well, when we first started, correct me if I'm wrong, I was really looking at the numbers more than I think anybody else that works on this with us.
Still do. Well, actually, I look at the numbers a lot more now, but...
Yeah. I mean, once you start hitting those numbers that go higher up, you really start kind of looking. Yep. But when we first started, we got all our friends and family out the way. We hit like 23 subs, right?
Oh, actually, none of my family, and definitely none of my friends. So I was feeling pretty good after, the first 20.
Yeah.
Right.
So I was like, all right, we got friends, family, grandparents. Well, not mine because they're not around anymore. But we were like, okay, 23-something subs.
I just told my grandmother about it like a month ago.
And we shot up a bunch when I uploaded my first short. So we got a ton of love off of the first batch of shorts. We went up like 10 subs. For a while, though, we were stuck at 34. And I was hearing people talk about on their channel, I remember they hit like 100K, which, we may never do, right?
Right.
But I was watching them, and they're like, I remember when I was stuck at 50 subs. And I was like, well, I want to get to 50 so I can be stuck on 50 for a bit. But we were stuck on 34. Yeah, we were stuck on 34 for a long time, like months. And then I fixed the audio on the shorts to where it wasn't my phone audio. It was this audio. And then I had someone pressure me to switch to DaVinci editing and do that. And
we also got a brand new Rodecaster Pro 2.
Yeah. Well, the other mics weren't bad. It was when I was using the phone mic for the shorts. That's what it was. Because people either couldn't hear us or it just wasn't sounding as good. But as soon as we switched, we were slowly building an audience. We got to like 60, I think, before I fixed the audio. But when I fixed the audio, we shot up to like over 100, like pretty much over the next like 2 months, which was fantastic. So we're at 117 at the time of this recording, and this episode will come out tomorrow. So I kind of want to take this episode to also, I don't want this to be another thank you episode like we did that one time when we were at 43 subscribers, which was nice. I do want to say thank you, and I want to say thanks for all the love and support. But I kind of want to go into like a little bit of a retrospective. We're closing out the year. We started late January.
Yeah, about the end, probably the last week or two.
Yeah, and we were sitting here 70-minute episodes, and I didn't cut out the pauses, the all that kind of stuff.
They didn't need to know that.
Yeah, they do. This is this is a little behind the scenes.
Oh, is that
He's showing growth.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. If we're doing that, then
not the Patrick. Do you want that for here to go? But I want to hear a bit from you, Timmy. Have you listened to every episode we've done?
Not every episode.
Okay.
I'll be honest, I fell off a little bit just because I was hardcore watching all of the podcasts and everything.
Yeah.
So I watch a good amount, and I have noticed the quality go up for sure.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind me asking what that looks like for you. What parts do you think there's anything we should stick to more? Like, some parts that are funnier than others. I'm sure that's a thing, but I'm kind of curious to know from your perspective, what parts have improved? Have we cut out stuff that you're glad we cut out? Is there something missing? Do you have any feedback for us, do you think?
So I'm talking about more of the quality of the podcast, like sound and the shorts and everything. Like you already talked about that, so I don't think there's too much I can say about that there, but well, I'm your friend, so I like what you guys are talking about. So
that's fair.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Keep it up, man.
Yeah, we're trying here. I kind of want to go back and talk about like some of our favorite moments, and then we can also talk about some mishaps and kind of like I want to kind of go into editing a bit. I am very proud of what this show is kind of doing. I really do think we have a quality show. To be so bold as to say, is that I think we have a very, very good show that like if we ever hit like the algorithm, I think we'd actually carry on for a minute. Not just the base show, but also like me and Darcy's show, I think is just freaking phenomenal. I think where there's just, aside from me laughing at my own jokes, I do think there's some genuine laughs to be had. And Shaps, you've even listened to a couple of the At Night stuff. You don't really listen to You and I Talk, which I understand.
Yeah.
But do you like the At Night series with me and Darcy? The ones you have listened to?
Yeah, when it pops on my feed, and I'm just like, sure, I'll listen to that. A lot of broken marriages out there.
No kidding. So, I mean, what do you think? Is that something we should keep focusing on, or is there other stuff you think we can branch out to?
I don't want to say anything like for certainty right now, but I will say that I'm not really like opposed to branching out to anything specifically. I know we like kind of kicked around the idea of maybe doing like a gaming channel at one point, which I'm still interested in doing. And I actually want to do like, if it'd be fun to do like more live stuff. I know we have something kind of planned for that, I think, but
possibly.
Yeah, possibly. I really want to pursue that.
Yeah.
That sounds like a really cool idea. I also want to get into Gasp.
Gasp?
Come on, Toomy. Come on, Toomy.
Gas?
Yeah, there we go. I also would like to get into merch maybe, like one day, because I think we have a really cool brand.
I actually do too, especially with that recent post we did with the nice thumbnail. Did you see that, by the way? I didn't see how many likes that got. That got a decent
I didn't realize that YouTube has like a posting thing. Yeah, a friend of mine had to show me that. But yes, it looks great by Jabatunes, a really great, fantastic animator who has a Patreon.
Thank you,
and
Jabatoon.
He does commissions, and I contacted him, and he was like, yeah, absolutely. Very nice dude, very nice dude.
Friend of yours or no?
No, not at all.
So-
He's in Europe. He's a Brit, actually.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah. And he's a very chill dude, very cool. Like, just like, hey, like, do you need me to fix anything? You know, like, he gave me like multiple backgrounds. Like, really cool dude. And like, I'd like to use his stuff more just to like kind of design and give us like some more foundation. But I really love our original, like, just logo, just like very much sticks. I love the color, you know. And
yeah.
I think it'd be really, really good on a hoodie, maybe, or a hat.
Did you like the logo initially? I feel like you kind of didn't, unless I misread what you were saying.
No, I think it was really creative.
Yeah.
I think it needed like some sprucing up, but I really it's grown on me definitely. I think like if I had to do it again, I'd make like someone draw it,
Yeah.
and make it look a little bit more slim instead of it being like a literal photo of a wheel. But I love the initial idea, and I like how it kind of looks like a microphone, maybe intentionally, unintentionally, but it's really cool. I do.
Have I ever described to y'all on the show how that logo came about?
Yeah, you told me that. I was like, it's really funny.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'll say it again. Whatever. It's a 100 sub anniversary. It's
Sure.
almost a year. The very beginning, first episode. If you scroll down to episode one, I was also learning how to do titles. So I'd just put whatever we talked about. I'd find a way to summarize it in X amount of words, as many as YouTube would let me for the title, and then just fill it up. So it'd be like topic. That's all in one title of one episode. Well, for the picture, we were the Third Wheel podcast, and I'm lazy. Okay, and I didn't know how anything editing works. I'm still kind of using some of the free software when I need a quick fix, because I'm still working DaVinci, and it's great. It's a lot better than the free stuff for sure, but I don't know all the ins and outs of it yet. So sometimes I'll hop on it. It's called Clipchamp by Microsoft, and I know how to use it. It takes a lot longer to process and make the edits I want, but I'm a lot more familiar with it. But when I first downloaded it and when I first got to work, I had no idea what I was doing. Yeah. Zero. So I put each frame from the first episode individually. I inserted the frame for 70 minutes worth. I went frame by frame inserting the picture instead of just putting it once and then being able to spread it out across the whole episode. Dude. And I was like, I hate this. And I was like, I don't think I could do this again. Right?
You did it frame by frame?
Frame by frame. Copy.
Luckily, that was only one episode. But
one episode.
Oh my gosh!
And we shot 2 that first weekend, so I was like, I got to do this again. Like, And then learning Audacity, that was also like a big deal for me. Like, and now it's way easier, right? And it goes by way quicker. And I know what to cut out. I know what I like cutting out faster, and then I can almost make it sound natural to where I don't. You almost can't tell a lot of the times. I go, and then And then sometimes Shaps will be like, and then he'll say really fast and then go to what he's trying to say. And I found a way to kind of make that sound very natural. Not all the time. Sometimes I don't have my AirPods in and I can't hear if it sounds natural or not, and I'm trying to edit faster.
Yeah, in real life, we're just a couple of Neanderthals.
But that original picture I took, I looked around. I was like, third wheel, and I opened a drawer and I found 3 chair wheels. Well, actually, I found a pack of 4 chair wheels or something.
I love
like
how
that.
you just found that. Like, just
I did.
It
was
just like sitting there.
I don't know where it goes.
Panic and everything.
God, give me wheels.
Yeah, I was like, well, because we didn't have the logo yet. I was like, I don't know what to do. So I found a bag of chair wheels. I took 3 out. I put 1, 2. This is the original logo, guys. If you go to episode 1. I put 1, 2, and 3, and I lined them up perfectly. I took the third one, and I was like, what's a good way to make someone who's a third wheel in a conversation out of place? So I took it, and I went, and I made it a little bit crooked, and I took a picture. JPEG image.
A lot went more into that than I thought. All right.
Wait. That's rude.
No. That's not. I don't mean that as an insult. I mean that as a compliment. I'm like, wow. So I thought you were just making it look like a microphone, but I think that was maybe my interpretation of it because it didn't sound like you made that intentional.
No, not at all.
Wow.
So my buddy Lee, who at first offered to, which I think everyone knows Lee, he offered at first to produce.
I don't think he was ever on, but
no,
yeah.
But y'all know him personally. My friend Lee, he offered to produce the show. So for a little bit, he set up the Spotify, which is really cool. But for a little bit, he was not editing. I went ahead and learned how to do that. But what I did is I sent him the audio file, and he would put it on Spotify for me. Well, he got really busy. He was getting married stuff and new job. And eventually, like, we were like 2 or 3 episodes behind on Spotify. And I was like, okay, here, just send me the login. And I went ahead and just started doing it myself. And like, no hard feelings on him. But when we uploaded that first episode, he sent me an email, and he's like, "Hey, I sent you a new logo, and it's the logo we have today." And that's what we've been using, and I like it. And I agree. I think it would look good on a black hat. It would look good on a black shirt, a black hoodie. I don't know how we'd fit the blue one. I think we can find a way to incorporate that creatively. The blue one for the at night.
I see what you mean. You mean the orange and blue one?
Yeah, that's gonna be a little bit more tough to incorporate.
That's true.
You know, because you don't see anybody walking around with that color of a hoodie.
Yeah, that's the logo I designed. I was really happy with the way that came out. It was like stuff like that. Like if we redid the old design, but like a little more sprucey.
Yeah,
like keep the initial concept, but like do kind of what I did for the at night and just like make it look a little more
I mean, if you ever get the time to do it, and you just send it my way, I'll take care of it. So, and that is the origin of our logo. I was lazy, so my buddy Lee he took 1 wheel. And then he set it to where it looks like a microphone. So it's still the wheel initial concept. It's upside down. Looks like a mic. And then he did the rest, put the yellow in it. He added Third Wheel Podcast Studio for no reason. But that's fine. It was still a cool logo. And I didn't know how to edit it out and make it look normal. So
I fixed that, by the way.
Yeah, he fixed it, sent it to me. I lost it. So I've been using Third Wheel Podcast
Studio. What else? Gosh, can cut a lot of this out.
That's all good. I do it all the time.
Sure.
We're still talking about merch, right?
Yeah, well, sure. Well,
honestly, what would you love to see our logo on, Toomy?
The same office chair wheel. Just sell those to people.
There's only 4 in existence.
Oh, have I got some wheels at the house?
No. So what I love about the first episode is I thought about it before. I was like, maybe we should eventually change it, but now I don't want to. I'm like, that's actually really cool just to leave that one bit of like history there.
I like what everyone's doing with it.
What do you mean?
So I like I took a picture that sucked, right? JPEG. My buddy Matt, who's been on the show, he's made fun of me the first time I posted it. He's like, "What the heck?" Oh, and a little side bit. When I edited each frame individually, putting that picture in, there the last like 5 minutes, I somehow screwed that up. And so for 5 minutes of the video, it just goes black.
Wow.
But I'm with you. So that first time that he sent me the logo, I was like, dude, that looks great. Yeah. And it's still that picture I took, but it's also like not. And it's like cool, it looks good, it's flashy, it's creative, but it's still got my original dumb idea behind it, which was a total accident, by the way.
Yeah.
So then when you took it and made it blue and then neon and was like, this is the at night episode, I immediately started thinking, now we need a theme song to match this picture I'm looking at. And then Jabba Tunes coming in and like coming up with how we look like and making that. I was like, dude.
Oh, I was so happy with that.
And I was like, dude, like that people are taking my dumb idea by accident. Again, I must stress this to you, like, and doing some really cool stuff with it. Like, if we ever got a decent amount of followers and a bunch of them are creative, like, I would love to see some fan art
or like fan animations or something.
Yeah,
that'd be really cool. I was thinking about that.
You know, Bill Burr's podcast, he has people that come in and animate him talking.
Yeah,
and then they'll take clips and do that.
And those like make big views online too. So I'm like, that's a great way to get exposed.
Yeah, I mean, people ripping us off, I wouldn't mind that because it draws more attention to us.
Sure, as long as they leave our YouTube in their channel description. Who cares?
Yeah, I know, but you know, we're not gonna be able to control that.
Sure.
PSA, you can't control other people. I don't know who needs to hear that, but you need it.
Unless we make a really cool song and then let people use it and then copy strike them for their money.
Yeah. So Toomy's idea, let's sell wheels. Let's buy a bunch of those for 50 cents a piece and then sell those for 20 bucks.
I really like the hat idea. I think a hat would look really cool.
Yeah.
Do you think we could do a blue hat or no?
When you say blue, you're talking about the other one? I'm trying to think of like what that would look good. I think so. Because there's orange and blue on it, but the center isn't. The center's more like purple, so I think you could get away with it. But like the hat would probably not be black. No, it would probably be like honestly, even though it would like kind of sink in, I think something semi-blue, like maybe like a darker blue or something, so it would like pop a little bit more, just to get that like more cool nighttime feel, you know. I'm not sure, but I'm not a designer at all, but I've only had to design one t-shirt before.
Yeah.
Actually look pretty cool, but
that's cool. I know you're so creative with that stuff, but you have a good eye for that.
I'm very much a self-taught person when it comes to like Photoshop, editing, Premiere, audio, and stuff like that. So like there's a lot I don't know that probably a lot of other people who went through classes know, but I'm just like, I'm the type of person who's like, I have an idea, I'm going to sit here and figure out how I can make it as close as possible to what that is.
Right.
And I make a lot of mistakes through it, and typically the mistakes actually look really cool. So like the At Night one, that was a mistake. The way that it kind of like looks like it's spray painted on the background. That was I had an idea of how to do that, but literally what I did was I made an adjustment layer, and then I accidentally clicked the main subject and like dragged it somewhere else. And then it left that imprint there. I was like, oh my gosh, that looks awesome. And it was orange and everything. I was like, that's amazing. How can I like make everything look like that now?
Yeah.
So legitimately, it's just like a lot of like me kind of figuring stuff out, bumbling around.
Yeah.
But
that's cool, man.
Yeah. So we hit 100 subs like a while ago, actually.
Yeah.
Almost a month ago, but we haven't had time to like celebrate because we're like Harry Potter, you know, this and that.
Very happy about that series, by the way.
Yeah. Which is, are you still reading?
I read like I think the first chapter.
Okay, I'm on chapter 7.
Oh, dude. Okay.
Keep up, man. What are you doing?
Yeah, I will. After freaking December, dude, and I'll be like actually able to think for once. But yeah, this is the busiest time of the year.
It's going slow for me, but really, I just want to please the people that ask us to hurry up and read it. That's why I'm putting pressure on everybody to like read.
Everybody.
Yeah, it's just you. Yeah. I know. Yeah, you too, Toomy. You caught up?
I'm in a corner, like, you know, like sweating. It's 22-hour days, and Caleb's like, come on, man. Come on. We got to meet the schedule. Come on. I'm just like, no.
I said tomorrow. Read the whole thing by tomorrow.
I've done that before, but.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, that was nice of him. But that was when the books were this big instead of this gigantic ones that they are now. The bricks.
No, I've been like trying to never mind. I'm not going to mathematically create like a schedule. Is like, okay, if I read this, or if I read like 2 chapters, this many days, this many weeks, you know, like I'll be done by this day. Like,
yeah,
and it never works out because I'm just like, yeah, I didn't account for all these other things I already have committed to, you know. But and also the book starts out kind of boring, so I'm like, there's no hook yet. It usually doesn't hook until you get to Hogwarts, but I'm like, no, I have to stick with Harry right now. And he's doing Harry things, and Hermione and Ron aren't here yet.
The competent, well, there's only one competent individual out of those 3, but I digress. That's another episode for another time.
Right, we'll get there.
Toomy, when are you going to do something creatively for YouTube or something?
Be creative, huh?
Because I know you talked
time,
about it.
Honestly.
Yeah, so you're behind on time then.
Yeah, just work and I do like stuff for church. I have my own small group and everything. It's been a little busy.
Yeah.
So I would like to learn editing at some point because what I watch on YouTube, that's mainly what I watch on YouTube, like edited video game videos or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to do that.
I was thinking about starting a new series, not a podcast, but just like I found a box of my old Game Informers, and I have a ton.
We've talked about that before.
And I was and I was sitting here like, my girlfriend gave me DaVinci, the pro version, which is great, but she also has a really good camera. Now she only has one, so I was thinking like, what if I did a series where almost like a story time, now not in a creepy kid way, but just like, you know, I'm holding it and the camera's on me and I'll have commentary and then I'll take pictures of each page and then like zoom in and commentary on different stuff and what I was thinking when I got it and just trying to see how that goes, if I like how it's turning out creatively. If not, maybe just leave it alone, that type of stuff. I also would like to do some skits, not anything crazy. Do you watch like Pro ZD? You ever see his stuff?
Honestly, the only skits I watched like religiously were like Nagahiga, and once he kind of like went dark, I really like that was years ago. So I'm just like not anymore really.
Right.
I watched Viva Dirt League, but that's pretty much it.
I don't picture like a big production movie style skit. I just mean like something dumb, just something real short, you know.
Yeah, not really.
Something quick, nothing crazy. But I was kind of thinking about that, but I don't have as much time in the world as I would like to. If this was like a full-time gig, absolutely. I'd be making content. But I just do not have time like that. So I barely have time for this. And the shorts, sometimes I'm late on those and it drives me crazy. So there's a lot of stuff I'd like to do. And I guess I'm building up to like, what started this podcast? We did talk about it, but I was like, I've always wanted something like this to express myself creatively and to kind of like just be myself, you know? And even if I look dumb doing it, like I want to do it. You know, this is what I like doing. I like hearing myself talk. I like talking. I like.
Oh, you can say that again.
I've always had an opinion on something, and I want to talk about it. You know, and it's just like now we're at 100 subs. We're over 100 now, like 117. We were at 115 for a week, and then we just grabbed 2 like yesterday. You just never know when you're going to get more, and you know that's a lot. And our videos are getting sometimes around 60 views per episode, and it's like that's pretty good.
There you go.
You know, people watching our stuff, like it's pretty nice. I mean, and it's really flattering, humbling, all this stuff. Like it's really cool. I'm really digging how this is going. But for you, Shaps, you had people that were a bunch of naysayers before we started, huh?
Oh yeah, I don't think I had like one. Well, okay, I have one person from day one who's been like a constant watcher. Shout out to Drake. Good job, Drake. We were, I think, his number one podcast listened Spotify rap thing. I was like, that's so cool. He's been big support since day one. Everyone, and then there was another person named Gwen, and then there was like, those two. That's it. And then like all of my other friends, like yes, they are my friends, but they also make very stupid jokes, right? And like when I was talking about this, it just comes off as, oh wow, Shaps is starting a podcast. That's silly. Let's make fun of that for like a couple hours, and then like they forget it ever existed. And then like when I tell them, oh, it's actually like picking off a little bit, you know, like it's like, oh wow, you're gonna get money soon. I'm like, I don't know. And it's just like, you know, like it doesn't. They don't really care up until the point where we were hitting like almost 100, and then they were like, so like you have guests on there? I was like, yeah. Well, like I'd be on there, but just to make fun of it. And then like it got to the point where they were like asking like every other week. They were like, "Yeah, we need to come on the podcast again just to make fun of it." And then like I've actually had a couple of my friends on here recently, and they've like actually really enjoyed it. Yeah, and even one of them who was like constantly making fun of it. He said to me at one point, or he was actually talking to someone else who was trying to make fun of it, and then he said, "Actually, it's really good content." Like generally, and that hit to me. I was like, finally, you know, like I've gone past these hurdles, you know, like where people are trying to realize like I'm taking it kind of seriously. Yeah, I actually do want to see it like go somewhere. Like, and there have been a couple other people I know who've tried starting podcasts, and they're like kind of just hoping that it takes off by doing very little, you know, just like because of what we're saying, that's going to make people come in. It's like, Not necessarily.
The answer is no.
There's so much that goes into it. Obviously, a tremendous amount of luck, like any YouTuber will tell you.
100%.
But it's also just consistency. Like that's what a lot of people will tell you, or veterans will tell you. Just consistency is number one. You know, being intentional. Like here's the thing. I don't usually commit to something like this hardcore. Like a lot of the time, it's just like on and off. Like I'll attach to something, you know, if I feel inclined to every once in a while. For the podcast, I've consistently, intentionally been like, no, I need to make time for this. Like, it's kind of rare for me. So I definitely do take this incredibly seriously. You know, just like
I can tell.
This is something I want to actually last, and I feel like could actually be a big thing. If I felt like this was going to be like a one and done thing, or wasn't going to hit, you know, past 20, I wouldn't have been like, I wouldn't have cared. You know, I would have been like, oh, this is fun to do. I probably would have been making fun of it as well. But now I'm just like, no, this needs to be something I care about. You know, because like it could take off one day, or I also need a creative outlet, and this is one way to do it. And I do want to see this show expand. I would love to start a gaming channel, honestly. Something I've always wanted to do because I've always watched people, you know, growing up, I've watched these gaming channels I've been inspired by, humor-wise, you know. I'm like, I just wish I could do that, you know, like, wish I could make a living, you know, doing that a little bit, like a side project, you know. That's the thing. Everyone needs a side hustle. I wish this could be my side hustle, you know. Obviously, it doesn't, like, provide money or anything, but I'm just like, I want that to be, like, kind of the thing I do that not everyone knows about, you know, and just something that I can pour into creatively and not feel stressed out about it. It doesn't feel like a job, you know. It's just, you know, where I can be me.
This ties in the next episode, which we're going to start reading some mean comments and also some nice comments.
Yeah.
But one of the things, I don't understand the criticism. Some of the comments I get is just like, why does everyone think they need a podcast? And I'm just like, what's wrong with having a hobby like that? You know, like you don't see anybody like complaining when if you're a sports fan, nobody's sitting here like, oh my gosh, why does everyone think they need to watch sports? Why does everyone think they need to pick up a paintbrush and start painting?
I think I could like be sort of, I think I could understand it a little bit if it was like a major celebrity making a podcast. Because like, okay, what celebrity doesn't have a podcast now? You know, and typically most people don't want to hear what celebrities have to say anyway. But at the same time, yeah, what's the big deal? Like if you're not interested, then don't watch.
Yeah, I agree.
Like no one's forcing you to listen to the podcast.
I agree.
Like, and then like, what would you rather someone not do anything?
Yeah,
like would not get a platform. Would you rather not someone just like sit, be a sheep, you know, and like have everyone's other opinions, you know, be their own, you know, like would you rather that? You know,
would you rather someone just chooses not to have fun?
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
just like
don't express yourself at all.
Right.
It's funny, like it feels like you almost feel like you have to apologize because they're so strongly worded sometimes. It's like, nah, like okay, you do you.
Pretty soon here, I got a very good rant about a please pull forward story. I got the worst case I've ever gotten in my entire life of please pull forward.
Mine was at Chick-fil-A recently.
I was pissed and I was ready to yell. I was like, if I had the microphone in front of me, it would be like an Angry Joe angry rant. Like I'd be screaming.
Boy. I can only imagine where it was.
Yeah.
Oh,
you know.
Here's my question. Where do you guys be at to where you have bad experiences with fast food places? That never happens.
Oh, all the time.
Either that never happens or I never care.
All the time. Last time was Chick-fil-A. It was 15 minutes, please pull forward. After please pull forward. It was for tenders. Chicken tenders. And they literally forgot about me. So like they came out and they're like, oh, so sorry. Something happened to the fries or whatever. Here's 3 free meals. So I'm like, hey, that's a way to win me over. But also like, it's really weird for Chick-fil-A to do that. So
yeah, Chick-fil-A, and they're usually on top of it.
Yeah, I know.
I'll tell you, Toomy, the Wendy's right up there. You've taken us up there. Like we've ridden with you to that Wendy's.
Not Squatter Wendy's, but
that Wendy's takes forever.
I'll be honest with you. All Wendy's takes forever. Especially down here. They're all awful.
Yeah, maybe.
Where are you from?
Michigan.
Oh, and they're fast up there?
From what I remember.
Okay. Well, it's supposed to be fast food, but you know, whatever. I'll save my story for another time. I got it in my notes. You'll hear it soon enough. It's going to be its own short. I honestly think I need to take video for that one because I get so heated when I talk about that one.
Oh boy.
So I don't know. I might do video for that one just because. You brought up luck earlier, and it's like some of the best shorts I've ever put together, nobody saw. And I was like, if this would just hit the algorithm, I think we would have been up there already by now with like a lot of subs. I don't want to predict them. I don't
probably like one or two viral shorts at least.
Yeah. Like viral. Our highest is like sitting at 3.3K, which is a lot. I'm not complaining. We got like 8 subs off of that one.
That's a lot.
And that was one where I was chopping the chocolate bar around, you know, and It was 7 seconds, and it was us making fun of Frozen live action. 7 seconds of like, next is going to be a Frozen live action. You're like, and then it cuts off. And then 8 subs off of that one, 3.3 kV. I was like, you just don't know.
One of your most recent ones, I do watch the shorts. I really laughed. It was the Mothra one.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, you like Mothra?
Yeah. And that one got like 60 views. And I was like, bro, like some of these are funny, but they just don't hit the algorithm.
Right.
And there's really nothing you can do. Like, I think these are some really good clickbaity titles that like should get some views, but sometimes they just don't.
Can we go into real quick about our journey with like video and like how we were first talking about like how we wanted the show to look and feel and sound. I was a pretty big proponent about just making it just audio at first.
Right.
Because I know just from the field I'm in, like how much work goes into video editing and like how much extra time and manpower it takes, to pull something like that off.
Yeah.
You were pretty adamant about having video at first, and you still sort of are kind of. You found a compromise, I think, that suits you well and suits us well. But
maybe.
So how do you feel about that? Just like the direction we've gone from a visual / audible standpoint.
Well, you brought up a good point. When I first brought up video, you were like, you just said, hey, this is gonna be a lot more work than you think it is. And I was like, I want to try, at least try, but. Boy, I had no idea how much audio just really like that. The first episode I edited, it still has a ton of gaps in me saying something sentence wise. It still has a ton of uhs and ums and repeating myself. I cut out a lot of me repeating myself.
Yeah,
I brought this up with my girlfriend. Like I'll have a really good point on the podcast, and then it's so good that I forget I already said it.
Yeah,
and then I'll say it again the exact same way. I don't word it differently. I just like this was so good. I say it a second time, so I got to go backwards, find the first time I said it, cut it out, and then keep the second one.
I didn't know you cut it out. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like a preacher. It's like, I'll say it again. Church.
Yeah. No, I just don't know I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So video. When you asked about video,
yeah.
I'm coming in and I'm editing the audio. I was like, this is so much work. And the first episode took like 2.5 hours, and it was still garbage.
Yeah.
Like the content I thought we talked about was funny, but like as far as editing goes, like what I would consider my new standard for what my show or our show, should look like, if I were to take that and go re-edit the first episode, it'd be so different. It'd be 9 minutes shorter. I would be taking out all the repeats, the awkward pauses, the parts where I lost my train of thought and I try to get it back. I'd cut all that out.
Sure.
Whereas now I just know what to look for and all that kind of stuff. So that's just audio.
Yeah.
So then whenever we introduce shorts, I was still taking the lazy route of like, let's just put my phone up, which I still do that, by the way. Put the phone up and record, and then I just keep the audio from the phone.
Yeah.
Well, then I started getting noise complaints where it's like, we can't hear what you're saying. And I was like, well, I pull it up on my phone. I can hear it just fine, you know? And it's like, what, so I didn't take it seriously. Well, Matt, my buddy who's been on the show with us before, he's like, hey, like it's an easy fix if you just sync it up using DaVinci. It's free. You can do it free. Well, started dating my girlfriend. She gave me DaVinci Pro for free. And immediately, like I said, we hit 100 subs like a month later. Just that quick audio fix.
There was a huge.
It just
spike.
Like we spiked and we hit 100 like real fast. So
yeah, no video. That's double, sometimes triple the work, which is like incredible. You don't think about it. You think, oh, what's the big deal? You put it up. You make a couple cuts. Like no, it's for syncing up. First of all, is actually really difficult.
But it's not actually. I thought it would be.
The entire footage, it can be, because like I was just editing something recently where like it was audio that started late and video that started late. And what happens sometimes, you can use like that sync option, but what it does sometimes is throw out the frame rate. So if you don't have your frame rate matching, because here's the thing, frame rate can vary from like 24 to 60 frames. Audio doesn't. That's really crazy. That's the fun part about video, is like figuring out what frame rate works for you. Like legitimately, there's so much that goes into it. And sometimes if you do like an automatic sync option or whatever, it throws off the frame rate to where it's like 24 frames and you can hear everyone normally. It's just really weird. So it's like, there's so much freaking stuff that goes into it. And I'm like, I would be down to doing it like once in a while, but like it is so much, unless you have, that's why people like always hire editors, when they get into like this field. For instance, like, I can video edit, but like I wouldn't want to do that on top of everything else.
Yeah, every week.
If we took off or anything, like, gosh, that's why you hire an editor. You hire managers sometimes, like it just whatever the needs are.
Yeah.
You can do it yourself for a pretty long time, but like soon enough, the workload just gets too much, and you don't want to burn yourself out. Because again, we also both have full-time jobs on top of this. Yeah. Oh, in case you're wondering, no, I'm not a lazy bum. Caleb insists on editing all this stuff, so I've offered. He's insistent on editing this stuff.
Yeah. I think it helps me grow in case you ever need to take a bow out, for either a period of time or permanently, if you get something else you want to move on to. I was worried because I think I want to do this long term, even if you have to go somewhere else, you're moving, or you want to do something else creatively. But I didn't want it to where you had to leave the show and then I'm stuck with like, well, shoot, I don't know how to do this. So I wanted, since you already know how to do it, I wanted to come in day one with like, I'm learning myself how to do this.
Right.
It's like not learning how to change a tire, and then you have a flat, your dad's not with you, your mom's not, whoever's not with you, and you can't change a flat.
Right.
I didn't want to have the same thing. Or a week you say, hey, I couldn't edit this week, and it's like, well, shoot, I could have done. I had so much free time, I could have done it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So something like that. I just didn't want to have any hiccups where the output, it's on my shoulders. And on top of that, I wanted to start the at night show. Like, you why would you want to edit that for me? And maybe not that you wouldn't want to, but like, why is that on you? It's that part's me and Darcy's show. So it just made sense that I just start editing it out the gate.
Some things just make sense.
Yeah.
Hey man, now you know a new skill.
That's true. That's true. And I'm learning how to do now. I think with the Game Informer, even if I don't like how the show's going, I don't think it's funny enough, or I don't know what the point is. I'm still trying to figure out what I want the point of that to be. But
I have a huge collection too. I think we touched on that a couple episodes ago.
Yeah.
But honestly, I would love to ask the audience like kind of what they think, what direction we should go, or like any ideas that you guys have, and like maybe a poll or something of like, hey, what should we pursue next? Like, because again, I would tie the Harry Potter thing up as its own show almost in a way,
right?
Because it just takes so much time of its own time, and we had to plan for it, and those episodes go longer, and we even made thumbnails for it. Like that's very much like I think its own thing. So I'm like, hey, what audience? What else do you need? Do you want? Do you think would be really fun? Maybe a book, maybe a movie review, maybe something like that. Like. I'd love to do like every once in a while we do a classic movie review, or that we haven't seen before, or the audience wants us to watch, or I don't know, like a short book or a short story, or like a cryptid story like on the internet. Like legitimately possibilities are endless. That's why I love our format. A lot of people ask what our topics are, what's our subject. I'm like, it really just
whatever's going on,
anything, legitimately everything. And a lot of people say that, but us for real, it is that.
Yeah, I would say sometimes it depends on the guest. Like I got one coming in that I want to talk about. He's a marketing guy, and I want to talk to him about failed marketing strategies, surprisingly successful ones. When Toomy's on, we tend to talk about video games or read hate mail. When Bree's on, we try weird foods, and then we talk about Star Wars. So it's just like a whole. Like you said, it just depends. Sometimes, what's that actor on Rust? Alec Baldwin. Sometimes Alec Baldwin straight up shoots somebody, and I want to talk about that. You know what I mean?
Who doesn't want to talk about that?
Right. So like that was the first episode. I was like, Alec Baldwin, you idiot! Like you didn't pull the trigger. Then how did it go off?
Oh, I love that episode.
That was the first one too.
Man,
so
I still remember that conversation. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't even remember being like nervous or anything. I just remember the fun we had on that episode.
Right.
And like us being kind of ready to say stuff.
Right. Yeah. And
out from the door, I don't think we ever had like an awkward moment, because it was like we've been friends for a really long time, and we've always had like these naturally funny conversations, and that's what it felt like, just like doing normal. Obviously, there's more etiquette now. We have better mic placement. We have
mic placement, better mics,
better discipline. I think mic discipline, and also not talking over each other. At least try not to. But yeah.
I think we both now can. Whenever you start talking, and I was like, oh, I can just stop talking for a second and let you finish your thought. So let's see. One thing I think I could do to not fix the shorts. So basically, I switched to VSMR, which again, I don't even know what ASMR stands for, but I know A is audio, V is video. VSMR. I switched to that because I'm tired of one, the shorts just being my face, and two, I am also tired of the complaints I'm getting of it. It's just your face all the time. So I was like, and I get that. So I was like, okay, so now I switched to VSMR, and that's kind of helping. It kind of not. I don't know.
I feel like we should explore that more. We could probably find something. Because again, if it's just, I'm so sorry. I'm getting over. My bad. This is the uncut episode.
I will do no editing for this one.
I'm getting over a major sinus.
You don't have to say that. I'll just cut out the.
No, please. I want the audience to know the raw uncut.
Nah, put that on the Patreon, you know?
This one's rated T.
Oh, that's a great idea, Toomy. Thank you. Our business manager over here telling us to make a Patreon. A $1 Patreon. Uh-huh. Oh, man.
But I think one thing I would like to do to the shorts is add a little screen at the end that says subscribe. And then if you click the button, you'll subscribe. I'm wondering if that would...
Or put that like the entire time.
Maybe.
Because, like, you know, you say, I mean, like, again, we have one with like 1,500 views or 3,000 views. And like...
How hard would it have been for them to just hit that subscribe button? Yeah, just hit it while you're watching.
You don't have to watch this ever again. Just hit it.
Yeah, just hit the button. Yeah, but you're right. I'm wondering if that would actually kind of do something. Maybe not, though. But
throw stuff out the window, see what happens.
Yeah.
Hey, man.
I mean, trying something new never hurt. Like Mr. Nightmare, he has a video where he tried to do the ad across the whole video. So one of his story time, he'd start the story with, if only this person in this story played Raid Shadow Legends. Yeah. And then at the end of the story, he said, and then the stalker was never caught. Just like if you played Raid Shadow Legends and you invest in stealth, you know, and it's just like, and he tried that and everybody hated it, so he never did it again.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like you scroll down to the comments on that video and I challenge you to find a single comment where they didn't complain about that ad. And after that, he never tried that again. He switched it back to either the ads one point in the video and that's it. Don't do it through the whole thing. So
yeah. Oh gosh.
I was scrolling. I tried to find one comment that didn't complain.
We should talk about that one time. I know we talked about ads before. We never talked about like YouTubers and how advertising has changed. You know, like just throwing this in the future. You know, but like you know how like eventually at first, like the very first one video game sponsored video was like PewDiePie and Shadow of Mordor, but it was a secret because he didn't actually tell everyone it was sponsored, and that changed the industry like forever. You know, where YouTubers had to disclose what the sponsor was for.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
interesting.
That's he got a lot of flack for that. Was one of his biggest controversies because like he didn't disclose he was advertising the game, and I think they like changed.
They had to
internet law or something. Like it was crazy. It went huge.
Yeah.
And now like YouTubers like they do it sometimes at the very beginning of the video. Sometimes they say, "Hey, stay tuned," or they'll cut it. A lot of them will cut in the middle of their video now.
Well, heck, now YouTube has the paid promotion at the top left.
Yeah, to let you. They have to. Yeah, to let you. I guess they have to, but like to let you know. You know.
Yeah.
What to expect, I guess. But yeah, it's very interesting how the world of advertising has changed in that way.
I don't know. It's crazy to me how much PewDiePie has actually probably gotten away with. That's one thing I didn't even know about. Yeah. Like he said that
he really hasn't had a whole lot of like controversies that went anywhere because like a lot. Obviously, there's probably a headline every other week about him, but like he's the type of person where he's so careful that he doesn't. It's either not real or it's blown out of proportion. There's only been like 2 that have been like really bad. One was the advertising one, and the second one was when he dropped the N-bomb.
Yeah,
and that was the one that like I would say borderline almost took him out.
Yeah.
But obviously he recovered from that. He's retired now, semi-retired now. So he got to a point where you just can't cancel him. Like legitimately, he's too careful. Also, he just calls out, you know, like whenever there is like faulty information or whatever, and he just ignores half of it. You know, so yeah, you can just get to that point where. Over 100 million subscribers, you just can't.
There you go. Too big to fail, you know?
Yeah.
We should talk about some of these recent failing YouTubers sometime, though, because like there are a bunch of channels that just got knocked out due to drama and stuff.
I thought about last night. I had a surge of like creative ideas for a new episode, so I got like the next 3 or 4 kind of at least an idea of where I wanted to go. But please, write those down and send those to me so we can start preparing. But right.
Oh no.
But one of those was like, I thought you brought up movie tropes, and I was listening to this past episode, and I was like, tropes. And I was like, what's something a sequel does that just ruins the movie right out the gate? You know, like a trope for a sequel that's like, why did they do that, or they do this again?
Do you know what that's called?
What is it called?
They call it sequelitis. It's an industry term for essentially a sequel of a really, really popular film that completely bombs and completely does horribly, and they do something stupid,
Right.
that completely like destroys the franchise, like 100%.
Yeah, so I'll give you a brief example of what I'm kind of thinking, and then we should let it go so we can save it for the show. But
Lots of tea.
American Psycho, very good. Christian Bale, Patrick Bateman. There's an American Psycho 2, and right out the gate, it's just Mila Kunis.
There's a 2?
There's a 2. The main Psycho is a girl, and it's Mila Kunis, who's not that great of an actress, and it's bad. And it's just like, why did this? They were just like, okay, sequel to a classic movie. Let's just take the killer, make him a girl. And,
Wow,
and,
I think, dang.
and we'll get the girl from that 70s show.
First off, who was asking for American Psycho 2?
Literally nobody.
I bet they didn't even get the same director.
Oh, goodness. He wouldn't have done that. I promise he wouldn't have done that.
Like, Mila Kunis? No.
Yeah.
Shut it down now.
Yeah, so just stuff like that, like you said, sequelitis. You know, bigger doesn't mean better. In fact, it makes it worser, which is no word, but you know, you know what I'm trying to say. So anyway,
1 out of 10, it was worser.
it was the wortheth. So
All right.
So yeah, so we're working on VSMR stuff. A big problem with that, you said you want more variety. So one thing is, I actually don't have as much time to set up a little studio. And I'm also, here's another thing. I'm not that quick to think of like something that'd be visually appealing to the eyes. I'm having trouble coming up with what would look good.
I was thinking of more outsourcing.
Really?
I mean, like, what's the problem with getting your friends to do stuff like that, you know? Or reaching out. Like, legitimately, I know much about VSMR. However, I'm pretty sure there's a way of just like, not finding stuff online, you know, to rip
royalty
off, but
free.
just like maybe we can get some inspiration by like watching some, you know those videos where it's like satisfying to watch or whatever, and it's like an hour long, and it's just like all that gross stuff, you know, that looks actually really nice, you know, and then like maybe I don't know, ask around, see who has access to said things, you know, and they're just like, yeah, go from there.
I had a really cool idea. So my girlfriend's grandpa, he built what is called a squirrel launcher. Okay. In which it's a.
I don't want to get.
Please say more.
I don't want to get demonetized here.
No, we won't. It doesn't hurt him. Okay, but
have you asked them?
no, people posted on YouTube. Okay, same exact squirrel launcher.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a catapult that you hook up to your fence. Okay, it's a little catapult. You put food in it. Then the squirrel comes up to get the food, and then once it hits the little pressure plate, shaboom, it launches the squirrel, and they go flying.
And it doesn't hurt them?
No.
How does it not hurt them?
They're not like cats, but they very much know how to land, and then they just land on their feet and run off.
This is borderline animal cruelty.
No, it's not.
You're teasing them with food, and then the payoff is your own satisfaction, like your own entertainment. And they're getting like thrown. They don't know what's happening. They're scarred for life.
Yeah, that's psychological warfare, honestly.
And you're just like,
so hunting is fine, right? Are you okay with hunting?
Hunting's fine.
So actually unaliving animals.
But I'm not gonna like freaking set up a trap, get my phone out, and we get in the bear trap, like point my phone out, like, haha, you just got trapped.
No, it's not a trap.
And then leave him there.
No,
he didn't get hurt. It's a non-harm trap.
You launch them in the air, and they land, and they run
so
off.
if we got a big catapult,
yeah,
and we say like a bear like steps on the catapult, and you launch the bear, you know, and it may or may not survive. I don't know. It lands in trees or whatever. Gosh, that's funny, right?
No bears land on their feet.
I would challenge you to find a catapult that would launch a bear. All right, we got about 10 minutes left on this episode of our, I would say, celebration in quotes, because I don't know, like it's just been a nice retrospective. 100 subs, almost a year, so we did good.
Yeah,
we did good. Like 100 subs in a year, pretty much over 100, actually. Let's go over our favorite moments and our least favorite moments. Let's do that for a little bit here.
Sure.
Most favorite moments. I'm gonna go with some of the shorts that we've done, obviously, because those are the best parts. I think the first time me and Darcy laughed over that Facebook group she joined, where we read it, and it says, "If you're a wife, lower your expectations." And I just went, I just like as hard as I could.
Hear that, ladies?
Yeah, yeah. Lower your expectations. Another one was one Toomy was on, and we. It's the one where Shaps, I forget what the misunderstanding was, but you basically said, "Oh, we're trying to talk about Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers," and then you said the Twin Towers,
and then like, "Oh, that was a short," and then like you paused for a second, and you're like,
"I'm sorry, did you say Twin Towers? I think you meant Two Towers."
It's like, no.
And that short will not break more than 5 views.
Are you kidding me?
No,
that was the best freaking thing. I thought that was going to be like,
and I posted it twice, thinking if I just reword it, no. You can't get people to watch that one.
We need to put that on a t-shirt.
I know.
Did you say Twin Towers?
I did have some ideas for merch, but I'm not ready to talk about it yet.
Cool.
Yeah.
Least favorite?
This has nothing to do with Matt, my buddy, but one of the Matt episodes I didn't care for, we talked about PC, because I feel like in that conversation, I feel like there was a point in the episode where you and Matt were droning on about technical stuff. And I was so lost, and I was like, I don't know how an average listener is going to listen to this and enjoy it. And it's not y'all's fault. It's just like, y'all were trying to go off of each other ping-ponging conversationally. And I was like, I'm going to have a hard time editing this one because I don't know what the hell they're saying. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's great.
So, and as predicted, I had trouble finding shorts for that one. I was like, I don't know what part was funny in this. But you know what? We did get some subs off that one. I remember. I was surprised pleasantly.
All those PC nerds, they understood.
And I hadn't even learned how to sync up audio yet.
Oh yeah.
So,
cool.
Chaps, what about you?
Favorite moments? Just thought of them. Obviously, I enjoy Harry Potter. Or the just like the talks so much and the heated conversations. I think my favorite moment recently was when I debunked your Quidditch rant. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah, I've hated Quidditch for like the past 8 years, and then one conversation with you set me straight.
Scared straight. Another one, I think probably one of my favorite moments is when Matt was here and we did that AI generated movie for
I forgot about that.
the rednecks and the Yakuza.
That was so good.
And then we did a sequel. Did we ever do I think we did a sequel. It was like, oh my gosh.
We haven't done a sequel
We need
yet.
to do a sequel.
I brought it up, but we've never done it.
Because like, oh my gosh, I don't think I laughed that hard on this show since then, but that was amazing.
Right.
Generally, just like I could think of all the characters, I could voice them all, like, and just like the AI just took it home, it made it worse and worse and worse and better and better and better and better. Worst moments, gosh, I don't think of any like really bad moments.
No.
Let's see. Least favorite? No, I don't think anything comes to mind really. I think I enjoyed most of it.
Flawless.
Maybe some of the relationship ones I'm not like super crazy about. But
I get that.
I think it's the same reason for your PC talk, honestly.
Right.
So yeah, other than that, I don't think so.
Yeah. What about you, Toomy?
All right. So first off, did you do a Avatar 2 review?
We
Yes.
did. That was one of our first ones.
Episode 2, I think.
Yeah.
I think it was
that
episode
one?
2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that being basically our first one.
Yeah.
Okay. That's one of my more favorite moments because he kind of just pooped on the movie. He's like, yeah, no, this deserves it.
I saw it a second time with you.
Hey,
and by the time
you saw it a second time. Like,
Yeah.
why are you
want-
doing this?
Let
Yeah.
the record show I actually enjoyed the film and I was defending it.
That is
true.
But-
Here's my thing. I don't hate the movie. I just think it's the definition of mid.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
The same way you feel about Dune, chaps, is how we all felt about Avatar 2.
Press the button.
Oh, speaking of that, real quick, shout out to my sister.
Gas. This guy doesn't like Dune.
Shout out to my sister. I took her to see The Creator. I was really excited because I thought she was going to love it. She was really excited. And
She hated it.
Oh my gosh. Like, she was relentless too. And like, I legitimately said, "You're just trying to get me back for Dune, aren't you?" She's like, "No." I'm like, "You absolutely are." I can't believe this. She took a picture of me really happy before we saw the film because I was super excited, and then she took a picture of me after.
Yeah.
And I just had like this most depressed face ever. Just like,
One of my oldest friends, he called me the other day and he was like, I watched The Creator and I didn't like it. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, I went off of your episode and I hated it. I was like, well, screw you then. But anyway.
Sir, it's my opinion.
Yeah, continue your thoughts to me. So favorite Avatar. The reason I hated that movie so much was because I saw it a second time with you. And by then, when we got to
That's not fair.
When we got to the podcast episode, I was like, I hate this movie.
Yeah. Well, you invited me to watch it for your second time.
Well, it wasn't just like you and me. It was like a bunch of people.
Did you like semi-enjoy it before your second viewing?
No.
Did you hate it during your first viewing?
But I wanted to see it with my buddies.
Okay, that's fair.
It was already going to make $2 billion.
Yeah, it's nothing you can do, Caleb.
No, like me not seeing it again wouldn't have made a difference.
I could have watched something else.
Nothing else was out.
That's capitalism, right there.
Probably.
And our friend Grace brought in her own homemade, like, snacks. Like she made trail mix and brought it in. I was like,
did she make like blue cat cookies or something?
No. There was one time I tried her banana nut like cookies, and then I had a scratchy throat that day, but she thought I was allergic to like pecans or something. So that was interesting. Walnuts, that's what it was. It was walnuts.
Yeah.
And that was
like I swear it's good.
Grace. Yeah, no, it was delicious, but
she's like, I'm like run over.
It's not your fault. I'm just dying. I just suck.
I'm just old.
Did you have a low point to me that you didn't care about in the show?
Yeah. Did you put any hate mail in there?
Yeah. Oh, actually, we got some comments from you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not hateful ones, but we got comments for some of our shorts.
Interesting.
Well, I'll talk about it next episode, but I got some of with you in there too.
All right. So, least favorite moment. It's not your guys' fault. It was an episode. One of the episodes I was on, we were talking about video games. I feel like I didn't get into the conversation enough because from what I remember when we were talking about childhood video games, you guys were talking about Assassin's Creed. I'm not the biggest fan of Assassin's Creed.
Oh, yeah.
Never been. I'm more of a Tony Hawk guy. Like all the sports games that were coming out like annually.
What's a bad Tony Hawk game, if you don't mind me asking? Or are they all good?
No, they are not all good. Pro Skater 5. Honestly, everyone after the 8th one, I'm not a fan of. And then there's these two Tony Hawk games where they had their own skateboard you could ride on to play the game.
Yeah, on the Wii.
And not even on the Wii, it was like on the 360.
Oh.
But the skateboard didn't work. So
what?
Yeah,
but that's his thing.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh no!
Like it was busted. No. It was busted for the first one, and then they released a second game. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, that's crazy to me. That's like the thing. That's probably why they quit making them, was because they started pumping them out so much. Well,
let's remedy this. So you're gonna get a little spot for this.
Yeah.
To talk about Tony Hawk. Let me ask you, Toomy. I don't mean this to sound very sarcastic. I'm not trying to be sarcastic, but like, how can you make a skateboarding game and then make another one and it somehow be bad? Like, what changes, Toomy? Does the wheels, like, do they? I don't know.
Yeah,
I've never played these games, so I'm just like genuinely like, what makes them bad? It's the same skate park, right? Like, it's you do the same tricks, same character. Like, what makes them bad?
All right, so
it's a good question.
The main reason is that the flow changes from year to year, from time to time.
What is the flow?
So with Tony Hawk games, it's all about doing tricks and combos, getting that high score.
Okay.
So the earlier games had really good level flow where you could just trick all over the place and trick everywhere. But the later games, they got kind of boring with the level design. So stuff didn't connect as much. They also changed some of the physics too. So like they tried to make it more realistic because I think Skate came out at the time. So they thought they had to compete.
That's the one I played, Skate 3. Oh yeah, loved it.
Oh, Skate 3, best game of all time.
Okay.
Confirmed. You heard it here. Timmy said it.
Number one. Take that.
Yeah.
Metacritic. But yeah, now they mess up the flow, so now the games aren't that fun to play. And by the time they got the Tony Hawk 5, they had a new developer on it. They were not doing good. The game, they had no flow, and it was busted like how most games are nowadays. You know?
No. And they couldn't do patches back then either, huh?
No, they did. They did do a patch for that one. The patch was more gigabytes than the actual game.
Oh,
and
that's always
it was still broken.
That's awful.
Oh my gosh.
No way. Yeah, I do feel like that episode we didn't give you enough time to like, okay, what do you think, Timmy? You know what I mean? So, yeah, my bad.
No, it's all good.
We're trying to remedy that.
He called me up and said, Shaps, if you ever talk over Toomy again, I swear you're off.
I'll tell you what.
Gasp.
Gasp.
That's the sound I made.
Well, guys, I think that's it for this one. Celebrating 100 subs. I think we talked a lot about where we started, how it's adapted, and how much we've improved, highs and lows of the show. So thank you, Toomy, for being on this one. We'll have you on for next week's as well, as we talk about mean comments and nice comments. We get some nice stuff from you people, too. So I want to hear everyone's initial reactions. One thing I don't do enough, I don't ask y'all what y'all think. Do y'all have any opinions on anything we've said? Good or bad, yay or nay? You might end up on the next mean comments section. So please hit us up as soon as you can.
Please do.
As much as you want. Tell us how much you hate us.
I'd rather someone hate us than not say anything at all, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
At least I know where you stand,
Yeah, some of us was like, can you not do the chocolate bar thing again? And then that was a video that got 3.3K.
That was me. Subs. I thought that.
Yeah. All right, guys. We'll see y'all next time. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
And thank you for 100 subscribers.
And here's to 100 more, to 1,000 more, to 100K.
Oh, we should have got a pop champagne sound effect.
Ooh.
That was terrible. Thank you. Thank you, Timmy. See y'all next week, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.